A lot of people in their life go through the phase of trying to fit in, searching for the undeniable comfort of not being judged by your peers, even if it means hiding or suppressing your true interests. The fear of abandonment often outweighs the joy of embracing what you love, because the road where you do follow your enthusiasm often seems so lonely. So you hide the parts of yourself that others ridicule, convincing yourself that their opinions must be right. I shouldn't be like this, my identity is wrong. You bury it all, chasing the illusion of a perfect image, until the ideal version of yourself in the eyes of the unknowing public meets the expectations set by those very same people. A puppet of admiration, suppressing every trace of the passion in your heart. But no matter how much you try to stray away from yourself, your identity will never disappear. And sometimes it just takes the smallest crack for everything you built to come crashing back down. Dealing with Mikadono Sisters is a Breeze is a romance harem anime that aired in the summer season of 2025. The story follows Ayase Yu, son of world-renowned genius actor Ayase Subaru. After his mother's tragic passing, Yu is left as the sole heir to her legacy, but with none of her brilliance. Unlike his mother, Yu was born with no talent, a failed prodigy overshadowed by expectations he could never meet. A wasted star. Under specific circumstances, he got taken in by his mother's close acquaintance, Mr. Mikadono, and suddenly finds himself living alongside his three extraordinary daughters. Mikadono Miwa, the youngest, a shogi prodigy and the youngest ever to hold a title. Mikadono Niko, the middle child, an undefeated judo champion with countless of trophies, and Mikadono Kazuki, the eldest, a blazing actor in the entertainment industry with the aura of a radiant star. Together they are known as the Three Emperors, each overflowing with natural talent in their respective fields. The complete opposite of you. What feeling did you get from this synopsis? Is it a story that would invoke deep emotional struggles, or a lighthearted rom-com like the thousands of others that came before it? Does touching on deep personal issues stray away from the rom-com genre as a whole? Does it need to have a clear distinction between both? In this video, we are going to focus on one specific character who was the sole reason for me making this video, the middle child, Mikadono Niko. While being the second oldest, she stands at the absolute shortest at 150 centimeters tall. Despite her short stature, she is still the most fierce and strongest among her sisters, which is reflected in her undefeated judo career, winning countless of medals and trophies ever since a very young age. Growing up in a very strict household with only the supervision of her father, failure was not allowed. This single sentence was drilled into her before the age she could even walk, not being allowed any form of entertainment that could hinder her training. Friends, parties, creating core memories as a child was simply not an option. Gifted with the strength to rival boys far bigger and older than her, she had no room for femininity. You are going to let your talent go to waste like this? Anyone else would kill to be in your position. You were born for this, don't stray away from your path. My path? The path you chose for me. Niko never had a choice. Even if she liked judo and the feeling of people relying on her, it was never a choice she had made. Having to quickly catch up to her older sister, who already was a famous child actor, her natural gifted strength was mobilized as fast as possible into martial arts. The days playing together with her sisters and sharing meals as a family never came. High expectations were a given in the Mikadono household. She was a child being molded step by step to erase any sort of softness to pursue only raw physical power. Dress like a boy, talk like a boy, act like a boy, and you might reach their standard. When being introduced to Niko, being the first of the three sisters we meet, she runs out expecting that Ayase is a criminal breaking into their home in nothing but a towel. Not once through this whole interaction does it bother her to be this exposed in front of a man similar to her own age she presumably only just met. The picture she has of herself lacks any sort of feminine charm. She is the strong and unwavering judo champion who cares about her appearance. She never once questioned that her admirers might like her for her looks and not her martial arts skills, all while being sisters with two women sharing immense beauty between them. The strength she acquired through relentless drills and training also eliminated the parts of herself she never had time to explore. The parts of wearing cute clothes, enjoying pretty flowers, or just something as simple as liking a specific color. Deprived of all things needed to form a complete human identity, she was a shell where two parts of her constantly kept on clashing without a sole victor. Maybe there was a fear of letting one side take over because there was still so much uncertainty of what girl she wanted to be. Would defying her father's wishes make her feel fulfilled, or would becoming the strongest finally let go of the ever-growing anxiety of wanting to wear cute dresses and gaze at pretty flowers? A leap in either direction would alter her future forever, cracking all the relationships she currently had, throwing her straight into the unknown not even her strength could face alone. What seemed as a stable and strong-willed woman who could compete with almost anyone stood in reality a torn girl being ripped apart. Because of the isolation from her feminine side, she is also the most easily affected by IS's unconscious flirty advances and the first one to open up to him. Of course, being suddenly forced to live with a boy the same age as you would cause some kind of hostility, but accepting that part and trying to see good in people didn't come as naturally for her two other sisters. The eldest only saw a flawed prodigy with no place among royals like herself, while the youngest could not logically process any sort of benefit he could be to her. Two pillars, two opinions formed from predisposed assumptions from their respective fields. But Niko didn't create an assumption, even if she easily could have. A pathetically frail guy with no talent that doesn't belong here. But something intrigued her, carefully watching him, from a comfortable distance of course, and found a hardworking, kind boy who despite his countless failures never once gave up. Someone with an unbreakable identity, a will stronger than the destiny set for him, the character and self she always wanted. There was no conflict between his failure to succeed his mother and the hardworking caretaker he was now, an acceptance of what one is capable of and making the absolute best of that situation. You would be the sole rock, a very small rock, to crack the walls of opinions etched onto Niko. The person to kickstart her emotions once again, to form her own opinions and most of all, explore both parts of herself without judgment. Once confined by the lines they drew, she found her strength in coloring beyond them. This is Mikadono Niko.